for August the 12th, the day of the convention. Hangman, Hangwoman, Tarot, stepping back to go forward. We start this reading off with the Two of Swords. Why do today what can be put off till tomorrow? Stalemate, convicting, conflicting thoughts, analyst paralysis. Shrouded by clouds, a blindfold face emerges in the sky, suggesting disconnection and clouded thoughts. In front of the moon, two swords are crossed with suspended in the air, unmoving and perfectly poised, awaiting action. The Two of Swords symbolizes a stalemate situation or one in which a deadlock exists or something could stall and nothing is moving. In relationship matters, it can show that a standoff has developed. You may feel that you need to make a decision yet are unable to move one way or another due to conflicting thoughts and being in two minds, creating analysis paralysis. It may be that you're procrastinating over something or feel as though you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. So you remain sitting on the fence, which creates a gridlock situation. And although you could feel blinded by a situation, you need to look at the matter objectively and logically so you can make a decision. You must take action in order to break the deadlock and make progress. Reversed or challenging aspects, the Two of Swords reversed may indicate being in denial and refusing to see. Some see the reverse card as an action taken, although not necessarily with a beneficial outcome. If the upright card is followed by an unfavorable or challenging card, it may show that inaction or a lack of movement leads to undesirable consequences. The Hanged Woman, stepping back to go forward. Life in limbo, suspension, lateral thinking, reassessment. A man with a serene expression hangs upside down, suspended in midair by chains attached to machinery, which is a symbol of the sun. The sun represents the external projection of the self, to which he is tethered, but his position offers an altered perspective. The hangman can represent life in limbo, which may prompt you to reassess a situation and response. Life may seem to be in a period of suspension, but it offers the opportunity to look at matters from a different and fresh perspective, which may bring a possible solution through better understanding. In readings, the aspect of suspension can create a delaying effect, which may be frustrating as it thwarts forward progress. As the hangman is upside down, he views life from an altered perception, so it can suggest alternative and lateral thinking, taking an unconventional approach to think outside the box. Self-sacrifice can be indicated, Sometimes we need to let go of something in the short term to gain something more beneficial in the long term. Reversed or challenging aspects, a sense of victimhood, persecution complex, being closed minded or biased, abandoning independent thought and adopting a hive mind mentality for ease or acceptance. Historically, this pose was associated with baffling, a form of punishment, so in the right context, it can suggest an informant, a traitor, or a betrayal. The Queen of Cups. Love is truth, fear is illusion. Gentle natured, compassionate, a beautifully adorned queen loosely holds flowers in one hand and her golden cup in the other, but it doesn't hold her attention as she casts a faraway gaze. The ocean is visible from the finery of her balcony, suggesting the sea of her emotions, whilst two small dogs look on, indicating sweetness and devotion. The Queen of Cups represents someone who is good natured and mild mannered, usually softly spoken with a kind and gentle disposition. Thoughtful and compassionate, they feel things deeply, so they may be at the mercy of their emotions. They can be very sensitive and take things to heart, being strongly attuned. Their empathetic nature serves them well in caring, healing, or nurturing roles. They can be a romantic and may satisfy this expression through creativity or the arts, but may be prone to seeing the world through rose tinted glasses. They don't like to rock the boat, so they can be submissive or passive aggressive. The sweet tempered Queen of the Cups feels ill equipped to deal with the harsher side of life. In divination, the Queen of Cups indicates a mature adult, traditionally female. It can represent someone with the astrological sun sign of Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Reversed or challenging aspects, possible dependency issues, and over reliance on others. Saturn can be gullible, sulky, childish, insecure, or not averse to emotional blackmail. Some see the reverse card to suggest someone detached from their emotions, cold, and unfeeling. Justice. Do as you would be done by. Legal matters. Balanced mind. Justice wears a blindfold representing impartiality, and the scales sit balanced as she weighs the evidence. The double-edged sword of truth can cut both ways, for or against. Further symbols also suggest balance from the astrological sun sign of Libra and the yin-yang symbol to the light that emanates from both her right and her left hand channeled into the sun, representing the self. Justice represents balance, although more of the rational and logical variety, using the intellectual mind rather than emotions. It suggests that you will need to weigh up the facts with a balanced mind in order to come to a decision that is fair and reasonable for all concerned. Legal matters can be represented by this card, and it can indicate a ruling upon a matter falling in favor of the rightful side. If you're waiting for an outcome, To a legal situation, it implies that justice will be delivered and the decision received should be fair and just. This card can cover all types of legal situations, so officials and legally binding contracts, agreements, and documents would also be relevant. Reversed or challenging aspects can indicate a legal ruling that doesn't fall in your favor, feeling a sense of injustice or a rescinded contract. Depending upon context and any neighboring cards, it can show a miscarriage of justice, a cover-up or corruption, imbalance, and bias may be suggested. The Knight of Swords. Anger is the only thing improved by delay. Events unfolding rapidly, swift and decisive action, bedecked colors of the suit. The knight draws their sword ready for action. The shield heraldry bears the alchemical sign for the air element. Their high vantage point provides a strategic advantage on their quest as a seeker of truth, suggesting lofty ideals. An eagle soars in the heavens, a symbol of honesty, truth, and wisdom. The Knight of Swords indicates a rapid pace, with events unfolding at such speed it may feel quite chaotic. It brings a powerful force into play and can place you in a strong position. But you need to be ready to roll with a fast-paced situation and take swift and decisive action as required. This card adds a turbo charge to events and is sure to get things moving. Anticipate a sense of urgency with a fast-moving situation and have your running shoes on standby. If using the knight to represent a young person or a facet of personality, then the Knight of Swords would be brave and courageous, honest and principled, and quick-witted with a serious demeanor. They can also be strong-willed, impatient, and aloof. Reversed or challenging aspects, dashing into things without care or planning, reckless behavior, or aggressively pursuing something for the sake of it without cause or principle. As a facet of character or a person, it can indicate someone who is hostile, aggressive, antagonistic, distant, or cold-hearted. The Knight of Cups acts, and you will receive a wish fulfilled, abundant blessings. Miss Eight Upright and Golden Cups, a jolly innkeeper, lifts his own as though raising a toast to you. The full barrels that surround him indicate abundance in a setting associated with good cheer. The Nine of Cups represents a wish fulfilled, bringing warmth and good cheer and an overall sense of satisfaction with your lot. Life is good, and you should feel well pleased and abundantly blessed as something you were hoping for comes to fruition, bringing fulfillment to a heart's desire. As one of the most positive cards in the deck, it can bring both emotional and material fulfillment. So the context may be found in relations to the question asked, the spread position, and or any surrounding cards. Happiness and contentment and sensual pleasures may be relevant for some, but generally it is a sign you can achieve your hopes and dreams as the Nine of Cups grants your wish. Reversed or challenging aspects can bring a complete reversal to the upright meaning, in that something you sincerely hoped for does not materialize and remains unfulfilled. It may suggest receiving something you wish for that then fails to live up to your expectations. When the upright card is followed by a challenging or less favorable card, it may represent an anticlimax or short-lived results. The moon appearances can be deceptive. Uncertainty, illusions, and unknown factors. Secrecies. A mechanical device appears to frame or project the moon onto a globe, creating an optical illusion. Set between two pillars, the moon dominates the scene in a twilight sky, suggesting an intermediate and changeable state. The creatures respond to their natural instincts, and the crab emerges from the ocean of the subconscious, representing the shadowy aspects of the unknown. The moon can represent illusionary situations, possible deceptions through veiled activity, and feelings of uncertainty due to unknown factors that cause confusion. Emotions are highly charged and fluctuating, similar to the ebb and flow of the tides from the gravitational pull of the moon, which can create a sense of instability. It can warn against jumping to conclusions, as the light of the moon can create illusions, shapes, and the shadows that are not what they seem. There's usually more to a situation than first meets the eye, so wait until the situation has revealed itself, as it will in due course. The mystical associations of the moon can represent dreams becoming more vivid as the subconscious reveals itself, and intuition may be heightened. But care will be needed due to the illusionary nature. Reversed or challenging aspects can intensify the less favorable aspects, such as delusion, hallucination, and paranoia, being switched off from reality, trippy, deception, smoke and mirrors, or concealment may suggest something dissipating and on the wane. The Two of Swords. Why do today what you can put off till tomorrow? The Hangman. Stepping back to go forward. Justice. Do as you would be done by. The Eight of Wands. What makes you tick? News arriving swiftly, events a gathering pace, travel. Eight wands fly across the sky in contrast to the peaceful pastoral scene found below, as if to highlight the aspect of speed. Wands are already an energetic and fast-moving suit, so this image creates additional emphasis. Image Imagine the swift movement of an arrow traveling through the air. Then consider the impact of eight simultaneously. The eight wands indicate swift movement. With the arrival of good news you should be pleased to receive, and it brings an element of enthusiasm and excitement. All forms of communication may be highlighted, but particularly email or text messages due to their speedy nature. Situations connected to the internet may be relevant for some. Events in progress are picking up pace and gathering momentum, so suggestions set in motion should now advance rapidly. This card usually indicates a fast-moving time frame. When appearing in present or immediate future positions, it usually represents situations happening soon, tomorrow, or next week. When closing a sequence, It would show a speedy conclusion to matters. Travel may be relevant for some, especially by air. Reversed or challenging aspects, the Eight of Wands reverse tends to bring a literal reversal to the meaning, so it can represent less favorable news arriving. Delays, miscommunications, and sometimes disputes may feature. There can be a snare up with travel arrangements, so allow additional time and double check details. The Four of Pentacles. The more we get, the more we want. Material ambitions over caution, thrifty. In fine surroundings, a richly dressed merchant clutches a container of gold close to him whilst admiring the four pentacles within. He appears overly attached to his possessions. The Four of Pentacles can show that you're focused upon your material ambitions and prepared to work hard to achieve financial goals. Material stability and security may be important to you at this time, so you could be saving for something important or alternatively trying to be frugal and organize a budget to hold on to resources and improve your situation. Once you have achieved your aims, care should be taken to guard against the risk of an imbalance of values developing, such as a materialistic or unhealthy preoccupation with money matters. The Four of Pentacles has a traditional reputation of being the card of the miserer. For some, it can represent withholding, a fear of loss, or being overly cautious, and this may be in any area of life, including on an emotional level. A calculated risk may be required to move things forward. Reversed or challenging aspects. Reversed, the less favorable aspect of the card can become accentuated with an excessive attachment to possessions, hoarding, or becoming being miserly. Some see the reverse card as a sign of loss or money slipping away from you, but this could also be due to lax money management. So the card to meditate on for this reading is the Ten of Cups. Happily ever after. Emotional fulfillment, domestic bliss, marriage, commitment. The setting provides a scene of serenity and domestic bliss, bringing the quiet enjoyment that comes through the fulfillment of emotional contentment. 10 upright cups arch around a home and its occupants, encompassing them within their emotive realm. The cups are suspended within a rainbow, a good omen, symbol for peace and happiness. The 10 brings completion to the emotional suit of cups. It represents the ultimate for love and happiness with emotional fulfillment. It can indicate harmonious and contented love, and it may bring joy and lasting success to a relationship. The Ten of Cups can also represent the serious commitment being made in a relationship, so marriage may feature for some. For those seeking romance, it could suggest the potential for a serious love relationship to enter. The scene in this card is taken from the artist's perspective, as though returning from work to his home and family, and symbolizes the satisfaction of a peaceful and settled home life. The Ten of Cups is like the contented sigh of a happy heart, sated and fulfilled. Reversed or challenging aspects can indicate tensions within a marriage or family union, units and may warn to guard against complacency. Some see the reverse card as a loveless marriage or one of convenience. When the upright card is followed by less favorable cards, it may suggest emotional challenges to the relationship or family happiness. The Two of Pentacles. Going with the flow. Maintain and balance cash flow multiples. A stormy sky appears to brew against a calm sea, suggesting mixed conditions. The well-dressed merchant concentrates while juggling two golden pentacles through a rainbow, which is usually considered to be a good omen. The Two of Pentacles represents the effort required to successfully maintain a balance in some area of life and suggests that you have the ability to keep everything flowing smoothly. It can feel as though you're engaged in a balancing act, but with some careful consider or maneuvering, you can steady the ship and achieve harmonious equilibrium. In personal matters, it can indicate the effort required to attain balance between different aspects of life, such as home and work. It can also suggest juggling finances, balancing the books, a cash flow situation, or a secondary income source of income. In work matters, it can represent keeping more than one project going simultaneously, multitasking, job sharing, or having more than one job. There are various situations where you may be dealing with multiples, such as a second property, for example. So the question, the background, any surrounding cards, or the Two of Pentacles placement in a spread can help provide more context. Reversed or challenging aspects can represent fluctuating circumstances or a lack of balance. Frantic efforts can lead to mistakes and loss of control in a situation. Everything may feel out of kilter. With any challenging aspects, it may suggest dropping the ball and failure to hold things steadily. So the Nine of Cups, ask and you will receive. The Nine of Swords, worry is interest paid on trouble before it is due. Worry and anxiety, despair and anguish. A woman sits up in bed with her arms wrapped across herself in a comforting gesture, as though waking from a nightmare. Nine Swords appears to bar the window with a threatening aim towards her as an owl observed from outside, symbolizing wisdom. A spectre looms above the swords, haunting her thoughts. The Nine of Swords represents suffering from worry and anxiety, the problems that keep you awake at night, or the haunting fear that disturbs your dreams. This card can suggest that difficult circumstances may be getting the better of you. In the image, the swords bar and block the windows, the open window, creating the impression that there is no escape from the problem, and the lack of solution inflicts a sense of despair or anguish that brings sleepless nights. The owl outside the window may suggest that knowledge and wisdom are available from external sources, so it could be time to share your concerns. If the Nine of Swords is surrounded by favorable cards and appears out of place, it may indicate unfounded fears or worrying for the sake of it. Imposter syndrome may be relevant for some. However, challenging or reverse aspects can represent the gradual recovery from a problematic situation. Some readers see the reverse card as intensifying the upright interpretation, and this will be relevant when the upright 9 of swords is followed by challenging cards, which could imply exacerbation, acceleration, exacerbation, exacerbation, and a worsening situation. So the hangman reading is not the energy that we are currently in today, being the 15th of the month, which is the devil card. This reading is for Wednesday. There are 5 cards that was pulled, 5 questions to each card for this reading. The 9 of Cups, ask and you will receive. The 9 of Swords, warriors, interest paid on trouble before it's due. The Hangman, card 1, challenge. What viewpoint is challenging me right now? What is the conflict about? The Tower, a wake-up call. Sudden upheaval, abrupt change, disruption. Storm clouds gather in the heavens as a lightning bolt strikes the tower, sending a naked figure tumbling headlong from the fiery blast to an unknown destination. We never know where lightning may strike, suggesting it is an unforeseen or shocking event. The tower can represent an abrupt change that brings upheaval and disruption. Unexpected news may arrive suddenly that shakes the fabric of your world, or a situation disintegrates. As creatures of habit, the structure we build in our lives create a sense of security. Sudden change rattles the foundation and plunges us headlong into uncertainty. This abrupt event usually comes from an external source and may feel outside of our control, so there tends to be an air of inevitability about it. However, you can control your responses, so it can serve as a warning to consider alternative plans or prepare contingency measures. As with all the cards, the tower operates across a wide spectrum. Keep a sense of perspective rather than assuming an extreme or worst case scenario. The tower brings a flash of insight as it removes a false philosophy that was built on shaky foundations, and it allows you to build anew from a stronger base. Reverse or challenging aspects, the tower reverse may minimize the impact of the upright meaning or can indicate a danger averted. When followed by challenging aspects, it can intensify the situation and show the subsequent fallout. So, card number 2, feelings. What feelings does this viewpoint create for me? The Knight of Cups, getting caught up in emotions, offers, and proposals. Invitations. The gallant Knight of Cups makes a graceful entrance as they offer you their cup, suggesting an emotional token. They appear to be on a romantic quest rather than one of battle. The caparisoned horse bears the alchemical sign for water and rears in the stream, which is symbolic of emotions. The Knight of Cups presents you with a pleasant proposition, and while it may be of a romantic variety, it can also represent an offer or proposal in any area of life that affects you on an emotional level. Traditionally, the Knight of Cups indicates a marriage proposal, but it can also be a declaration of love or invitation from a love interest. It can also apply to different situations in other areas of life, such as work or property offers, business proposal, or social invitations. If using the Knight to represent a young person or character trait, this Knight can be a romantic idealist, charming and considerate with a sensitive nature. They may have artistic tendencies, but can be unrealistic dreamers, moody with shifting emotions and lack follow through. Reversed or challenging aspects offer an invitation, postpone, or fails to develop. A proposal may not be as it first appears. If you're looking for a committed relationship, then this may be one to avoid, as the reverse card can suggest one who enjoys the idea of romance, but with no strings attached, a flirt or serial dater, or someone who is otherwise non-committal. Card number 3, the origins. Where is the source of these feelings? What am I taking personally? Where does it come from? The moon. Appearances can be deceptive. Card number 4, sacrifice. What do I need to let go of? What is preventing me from accepting a different perspective? The Queen of Swords, saying it how it is. Independent spirit, perceptive. The queen raises her sword towards the elevated light on a column which reflects on her crown and sword, symbolic of the ability to cut through illusions to find wisdom and clarity. The doves are symbols of peace, showing this queen as a seeker of truth and justice. The cat beside her may symbolize feline grace with an independent spirit. As a person or representing character traits, the Queen of Swords is perceptive with an independent spirit. They have strength of character with a straightforward manner and deals with situations objectively. With a sharp and agile mind and a natural appetite for knowledge and information, they have an almost forensic style of reasoning skill. They are a critical thinker who is solution oriented. They like to see fair play and are loyal to and protective of friends and loved ones. They may seem guarded or almost distant at times, trending to keep their own counsel and preferring a handful of trusted confidants. But they are not someone to be underestimated. May represent someone connected to the legal profession, the government, or uninformed or uniformed services, police, or military. In divination, the Queen of Swords indicates a mature adult, traditionally female. It can represent astrological sun signs connected to the air element, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Reverse to challenging aspects difficult to please with exacting standards may be impatient, unforgiving, blunt, critical, or cutting with a sharp tongue, can be vengeful if crossed, may come across as cold-hearted, unyielding, steely, and remote. Card number 5, Awakening. If I learn to put my defensiveness behind, what message awaits me when I do? The Knight of Swords. Anger is the only thing improved by delay. So that's the end of that reading. Now the following readings will be um I'm not finished, so hold on. So the Ten of Cups, happily ever after. The Hangman, stepping back to go forward. The Eight of Swords, where did my life go? Restrictions and limitations, feeling disempowered. A blindfolded woman kneels amongst the clouds, encircled by illuminated swords, both representing the air element and thought. The blindfold shuts out external senses, while her loosely bound wrists suggest she may not be as captive to the prison of swords that seemingly constrain her as she first appears. The Eight of Swords can represent fearful thoughts that are holding you captive, making you feel trapped or disempowered within a situation. Sometimes it can suggest being in denial and refusing to see the truth of the matter. And although this card often represents something based on fear that holds negative thought patterns, the symbolism in this image contains both the cause and the solution within the apparent contradictions. The duality and double-edged sword nature of the radiant sword reveals both clouded thoughts and insight, while the surrounding clouds and blindfold prevent seeing the truth. A calm head is required to face your fears and make adjustments. While the Eight of Swords may be based on the mental process, it can also reveal a tangible restriction or limitation that is causing an impediment to progress in some area of life. This could include finances, relationships, or being confined or housebound. For example, reversed or challenging aspects, the Eight of Swords reversed can represent obstacles moving or breaking free from constraints, release from limiting beliefs that hold you back. In the upright card, if the upright card is followed by challenging aspects, it may show the situation intensifying and escalating. The Knight of Swords, anger is the only thing improved by a delay. The Queen of Swords, saying it how it is. The Queen of Swords, saying it how it is. The Knight of Swords, say, anger is the only thing improved by a delay. The Devil, your own worst enemy. Excess, unhealthy behavior, secret plans. Engulfed by flames, a bare torso emerges against the backdrop of a large pentacle. The elements of fire and earth dominate, representing unbridled energy and material pleasures. The horned mask can suggest secrecy, but also the blind pursuit of earthly desires. The devil represents the shadow side of human nature, so all forms of excessive tendencies and hedonistic behaviors can feature. The card is steeped in the temptations of the earthly and material world. Addition, addictions can sometimes feature as a form of self-enslavement. The devil is like the itch that you can't scratch, yet you're always free to walk away. The devil can indicate a passionate or compelling relationship with a strong physical attraction, and although not usually a healthy one, it can suggest obsession, controlling and manipulative behavior, or a clandestine affair, but check any supporting or surrounding cards to verify. It may also carry on an aspect of secrecy, such as secret plans being made either by you or others around you. The oppressive nature of this card can add a sense of heaviness when you feel helpless to change a situation. The devil has a toxic quality that can taint any card it immediately follows. So reverse or challenging aspects. When reversed, it can represent release from unhealthy behavior or negative influences. When upright and followed or surrounded by challenging cards, it can intensify the upright meaning and sometimes indicate nefarious activities. The Two of Swords. Why do today what you can put off till tomorrow? The King of Cups. Harmony is more important than truth. Easygoing nature, benevolent, the king holds the golden cup that represents his watery domain as he sits upon a throne amidst the ocean, symbolizing the depths of emotion. His stance appears relaxed and informal as though lounging, and although he faces towards you, his gaze suggests he is distracted. The King of Cups' personality is kind hearted and considerate to others. They are affable and polite, with a pleasant disposition. They tend to be quiet in nature and unassuming with an easygoing manner, and they usually get along well with others as they're inoffensive and rarely create enemies. The King of Cups is a thoughtful and generous friend and a supportive and considerate partner who values their family and loved ones, and due to their compassionate and sympathetic nature and a concern for the well-being of others, they can do well in any form of caring, counseling, or supporting capacity. They may be creative. They may have creative tendencies and emotional depths, but can also be worriers who avoid dealing with unpleasantness and difficult circumstances. In divination, the King of Cups would indicate a mature adult of this description, traditionally male, can represent the astrological sun sign of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Reversed or challenging aspects may be the melancholy or moody, lack drive or backbone, or be petty, impractical, or a daydreamer, may suffer from ostrich syndrome. Some may see the reverse card as detached from emotions and emotionally unavailable. The last card is the Four of Coins. The more we get, the more we want. And that is the end of this ride for today. I know I don't have time to do the next one, which is the Death card for um, August 13th. Today is the 15th.